Hi everyone and welcome to this new video. I'm Melanie and in this video we are going to look at how to succeed in a high ticket sales interview basically. So I decided to make this video because I've been asked many questions about, how I personally succeeded in different interviews where there were dozens of candidates. And in this video, I want to give you the most value possible and the best guidance as possible so you can be sure to pass all the next interviews that you will do in the future. So of course, this channel is made exactly for this reason. To help you and give you practical tips to succeed in high ticket sales. So let's start with the first point I noted down about the interviews. So the first point is to show yourself as available to the owner or the sales manager of the company. This is actually a point that starts even before the interview itself. Because when you apply, for example, you might send a video with your presentation or CV or everything else. And you will find yourself in the moment when, if your application has a positive response, you will be contacted by either the owner or directly by the sales manager of the company. And here is the very important, thing to show yourself as available, immediately. So my advice, especially when you apply, is to turn on notifications, respond as soon as possible. And most importantly, even if you already have a job and it might be an effort for you, make an effort to give your availability as soon as possible for the actual interview. This will already give you many points ahead compared to all the other people applying for the same offer. Because many people respond late, they give days and days before showing availability for an interview, and this of course will lead to a low consideration of you, because how can a company think you will work well if you already are responding late or giving availability very far out, many days away from when you could schedule the interview? So this is my first tip. Show yourself as available. I know it might seem like obvious advice, but it makes all the difference. This alone will allow you to do more than 50% of the work. In fact, this connects to the second point, which is also a bit about the initial first impression they have. So since interviewers, are mainly done on video calls, show yourself looking good. So my advice is to put on makeup, wear a nice professional outfit, and on the other hand, try to have a nice setup. So I'm not telling you that you have to do it from a hotel room or a luxury house. The important thing is that you have a clean setup. So even just a white wall with, maybe a plan behind, something very, very simple. And important tips I can give you about the framing is to have a lot of light in front. So maybe buy those ring lights or position yourself with the natural light in front of you. Now, it depends, of course, on how your house is set up, but it's very important to have a good presence. So both in your appearance, with your hair well styled, makeup well done, a nice professional outfit, maybe with a blazer, and on the other hand, a nice setup. In today's world, the first impression matters a lot. And starting with these 2 points, so showing first yourself available immediately and already having a good presence, will give you a much higher probability of being hired, basically. Also because, many times, think about that. Yes, there are many people applying. People won't do these things. So be sure that once you apply all these tips, I can assure you that, maybe you won't be hired straightforward on the next interview, but it will be enough to do at least 3, 4, 5 interviews with good offers, and at least 1 or 2 companies will be able to hire you without problems. Now, let's move to the third point, knowing and especially expecting the main questions that the business owner or the sales manager might ask you. So, knowing the main questions will definitely help you, on the other hand, to be prepared as well before the interview. So my advice is to watch one of my previous videos where I talk about the terminology in the high ticket sales world, which are definitely things they might ask you during an interview. On the other hand, my advice is to prepare a lot about the company. So before doing any application or interview, you need to know exactly what the company does and who the testimonials of that specific company are. Because I mean, like, the more you show yourself interested in the company, and of course, like, the more the company will appreciate you and the more likely you will be hired as well. So another question they might ask you is, tell me a bit more about yourself, like why you entered this interview today. And what you should answer is to give your real reason. I mean, like, the long-term goal you want to achieve with that company, which cannot simply be like financial one. Of course, like, definitely, like, the first goal should be a financial goal, but it must also be a growth goal with the company itself. Now, let's move to the fourth point, which also connects a bit to the previous points. So throughout the entire interview, show that your main interest is the company. I mean, like, working with this company, and that you're passionate about this company, and most importantly, that you're willing to grow with this company as well, willing to work, of course, like many hours, willing to do more over time. Because what I see from, I mean, like, many high ticket sales trainers is entering interviews with the mindset of immediately asking how much the company makes, how much the average seller makes. But I mean, like, always remember that they are choosing you. So yes, I mean, like, you have the possibility to choose between companies, but the company is choosing you. So if you enter the call asking how much does the company make, how much the best closer make, like, what's the OTE, I mean, like, you come across as unpleasant to the company. So, I mean, like, you can ask this question, of course, but at the end of the interview, not at the beginning. So what you need to do at the beginning of the interview is really show who you are. That, I mean, like, you know the company and that you have the desire to hard work. This is the first thing. I mean, like, even before talking about money, compensation, or percentages. And I mean, like, this is also what the company wants to actually see. The fifth point is to prepare your why. I mean, like, at the end of the day, what a company really evaluates is why you want to join the specific company, why you are trying to do, I mean, like, this job in high ticket sales. And my advice is to go without fear and say what your why is. Maybe it could be that you have a difficult situation at home and you want to apply yourself because you really want to change your life and help your family. Or I mean, like, maybe something bad happened to you, or maybe, I mean, like, if you don't have situations like this, it's just because you want to transform your life. But I mean, like, really, my advice is, I mean, like, to give a detailed why. So give a detailed why. That's not simply, I want to change my life, but I want to change my life, yes, but how? Like, what do you want to do in your future? What goals do you have? And why did you choose to want to change your life? Like, why are you fed up with your situation, basically? And obviously, your goal must be in line with the company's goal. I mean, like, you cannot say, I want to start here to make some money, then open other things later. I hear this very often. And I mean, like, the company needs people, but especially needs people for the long term. Sixth point, don't worry about the experience. I mean, like, many people think that experience is everything, that the company only looks to experienced people. I mean, like, yes, obviously a person who has a lot of experience might have an advantage on you, but everyone starts from somewhere. And if the company is having you do an interview, it's because evidently, even if you don't have specific experience in high ticket sales with proven results, they are interested in you. I mean, like, something you do has attracted them. So my advice here is always to show that you're willing to anything to join that company and show what your real value is. 7 points. Take this opportunity seriously. So avoid making them understand that this is like a game for you. I see many people who take this activity as a game, honestly, but it's not. Like, you need to enter the interview already with a mindset of saying, like, okay, I want to join here. I'm ready to commit. If I already have a job, I'm ready to quit my job after a few months. I will do everything is needed to succeed. So this is the right mindset you need to have. You need to take this job seriously, because as long as you continue to take this job as like, well, I don't know what to do, so I will do this job in the meantime, then maybe I will do something else in the future. This is a mindset that honestly you will transmit also to the business owner, and many times the business owner or sales manager won't hire you even for this reason. Then, point number 8, ask questions to the company. So my advice, if you are in your first interviews and doing your first application, is not to focus too much on how much the company makes and everything else. Because even if you can initially gain experience for a month or a couple of months with a company that's not a top company, maybe they are not already making 300 grand, 400 grand a month, but you still start gaining experience. And then in the next interviews, you will be able to say you had this type of experience. But now you are looking for the right company to go to the next step when you already have your experience. So if instead, you're already looking, you already have some experience, and you are looking for a more serious company compared to the offer you are currently in, ask on average, what the business revenue was, and specifically, also the cash collected on an average indicative level. Ask how much the best closer actually makes in that company, also to understand if, of course, this is in line with your goals. And then another important thing I always ask, which I've always considered when evaluating, if a company is an option, also the payment method, financing options. Because you understand well that if the client can divide packages into many installments and the company receives everything up front, this gives you a huge advantage compared to other offers that don't have this kind of payment plan. So this was the advice to succeed, in every interview. Now that's all for this video. I hope you like this, and remember, for any question you have, write them in the comments or write to me directly on Instagram for anything. And if you are motivated, if you have that drive inside, you, and you want to start a program directly with me to improve your sales skills and find the right company, click the link below and you can book a call directly with me. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one.